Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Goalpost podcast. Again, it's been a few weeks since we've last done an episode. We keep on saying we're going to try and improve that, and obviously it doesn't happen. But here we are, doing another one. It's quite a lot's happened since our last podcast. England are in the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Who can bloody believe it, lads? Obviously, joined again by Darius and Lee. How are we, guys? Are we all right?
Yeah, all good.
Good, thank you, mate. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So let's just dive straight into it. England. Where to start? Obviously, we left off on the last episode. We're about to play the USA. Yeah. Should we just take it from there and go through the tournament?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the USA match in the end wasn't a great match, was it?
No, it's bloody awful.
Since then, Senegal and the Wales game, it's been fantastic. We're looking very, very good.
We are.
Me and my dad keep saying, I don't know if we've seen anyone better. Brazil have been good, France have been good, but so have England.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's definitely going to be a very interesting game on Saturday.
Darius, same thoughts?
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed with the USA game, like most people. Maybe people were a bit too over the top with their reaction. It was 0-0, but England weren't great. Probably USA were the better team, but then we go and beat Wales really convincingly. And I think we even said on the podcast that might be our most challenging game in the group because of the fact that Wales are also a part of the United Kingdom. There's a rivalry there, and then from then on, Senegal I thought would actually be a tight game, quite close, but England made it look a lot easier. So I'm confident that we can go further, but France are a very tough opposition now. You're getting into the real tough stages of the competition. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like both of you said, the USA game was very boring, wasn't it? Everyone was going off their heads at Southgate.
Yeah.
But we've got to remember back in the Euros, we drew against Scotland for the second game. And then we got to a final in that competition, and I think that's what people forget. And like both of you said, the Wales game was fantastic. Rashford, that free kick, what a goal that was.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I missed most of the Senegal game as I was in Amsterdam. Yeah, less said about that, the better. But yeah, from what I've seen of the highlights and everything, it was a great game. Yeah, Saturday's the big one, isn't it? Do you know what? I've been saying to people at work and just around in general that I reckon if we beat France, I think we're going to win the whole competition. I really do.
I can't disagree with you. As I said before, I think we've, along with Brazil and France, have shown the most in the competition to suggest that the winner of this game could be the potential winners of the whole tournament.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously the key player France have got is Mbappe. There's no doubt about that. But I think I said in the last episode, France look a bit defensively weak. And have shown that throughout the tournament as well. And I think with the players that we've got like Kane, Rashford, Saka, Foden, Grealish, honestly, I think we're gonna have a field day, hopefully. But maybe not a field day, but I think we will have good chances to open them up. Yeah, so obviously everyone was complaining about Phil Foden not getting minutes. He started against Wales, didn't he?
Yep.
Scored 2 goals. Was it 2 goals? No, 1 goal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
1 goal.
Got the assist. Oh no, that was in the Senegal game. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, what have we made of him so far this tournament? 2 games played. Yeah.
He's been excellent, hasn't he? He's totally justified getting selected ahead of Raheem Sterling at the moment. I know he's had to go home because of the breaking at his house, which is terrible. But I think he is actually coming back, so he's probably going to be on the bench for the France game. But yeah, he's been sensational, hasn't he, Phil Foden? The way he just glides past defenders, especially for that. Was it the third goal against Senegal where he glided past the Senegal defender and then put it through Koulibaly's legs to give it to Saka, who chipped it over the keeper very, very nicely. They've been working really well together. And yeah, Foden, he's been a sensation on that left wing.
Darius.
Yeah, he's been very good. I think that there's been quite a lot of standout performances for England at this tournament in attack. Saka, Kane's obviously, I think he scored against Senegal, which I think was his first goal at the tournament. But he's got a few assists as well. So yeah, in terms of our attack and the team in general, I think we're strong enough, to go and beat a team like France. But like you were saying before, Will, it's a case of how some of their star players perform. Mbappe's been probably the best player at the tournament. You could argue so far. I mean, Giroud's playing well. I think Mbappe likes playing behind a striker, so that'll be more difficult. And I think Griezmann and Dembele have also been very good. I'm not sort of getting like carried away or overconfident, let's say. I don't want to sort of jinx anything because I know that France will be very tough. But I think so far England have proven that they deserve to be in the last eight, certainly. If you can get further than that and, maybe make it to another final, hopefully win it, that would be great. But I don't know. I still think it's too early to say, lads. I don't know. I still think it's too early to say.
Going back to the USA game quickly, there was a player who got substituted on that everyone lost the plot about, but against Wales and Senegal, he's done quite well, and that's Mr. Jordan Henderson. What are we saying about him? Do you reckon he should be starting against France this weekend?
If he plays 4-3-3 like he has done, I think he will start. But I've got a feeling he's not going to play 4-3-3 and he's going to revert back to his five at the back and play Kieran Trippier at right wing back and Kyle Walker as a third centre half. So I think it'll just be a Rice and Bellingham midfield for the France game.
Darius, your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I probably agree with Lee on that. If he played a 4-3-3, I don't think he should play Henderson. If I'm being honest, I don't know.
Who would you play instead?
Well,
don't say Mount.
Well, I'm not saying Mount. I was going to say definitely not Mount. I don't know, to be honest with you. Maybe Phillips. I'm not sure. Another defensive midfielder. I would rather play the football that we've been playing, either 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. Play that sort of style of football. It's better to see England play that way. I think you've played that way for the whole tournament. To go and now revert back to a 5 or 3 at the back, as Southgate would do against a very strong France team, that can go really badly. If that doesn't work and France, rip us apart, and Mbappe's just, finding gaps through, Maguire or Stones, things like that, then it's not going to look good on Gareth, is it? That, he's made a decision like that. So I can see where Lee, what Lee's saying. I think he probably will play a 5 at the back. That will mean that it will be Bellingham and Rice as the 2 midfielders. They're obviously going to play 3 in midfield, so they're going to have 1 extra. But I just match them, because I think if you match them, you've got a better chance of winning. I don't know about Henderson. I don't think he's been very good for Liverpool this season. But even though Phillips hasn't played a lot, I still think he's been very good in an England shirt. So if you wanted a bit more cover, I'd put him in midfield. But
yeah, I mean, I totally agree with the Henderson point you just said there, Darius. But I think in the last 2 games he's done quite well. He scored against Senegal. Obviously Senegal aren't France, but
yeah,
I think he's got that experience in that, and I think that's what our midfield lacks at times, is experience. he'll be that experienced head. You know, you've got Bellingham, who's 19, Rice, who's early 20s. Having an older head in there might be beneficial for a big game like France. Should we talk about Starboy, Jude? Hey, Jude. What tournament he's having.
Quality.
19 years old, eh, lads? We're sat at uni talking about football, and he's living a dream at a World Cup, man. Honestly, unbelievable.
Yeah, he's been absolutely brilliant, hasn't he? He can do, as Phil Foden I think said after the Senegal game, he can do every bit of it. He can attack, he can defend, he can score goals, he can get assists. He's just been a Rolls Royce of a midfielder, and to say he's just 19, he's quite scary actually. And every time he plays well in the World Cup, I think Borussia Dortmund will put his price up by about £10 million. Which hopefully means Liverpool can't afford him, because that's what it looks like. But no, he's absolutely fantastic. He's got it all, and if he shows it in a big game against France, and he puts in another man of the match performance, it's just like nothing we've ever seen before.
Do you know what? I think it's been beneficial that he's gone out to Germany. I think it's given him a sense of responsibility out there. I mean, you look at Dele Alli when he was 19, he was playing at Tottenham, scoring for fun, getting loads of assists, linking up well. But I think the English press and the media side of the game didn't help Dele Alli, as you know, when you're in England, you can hear a lot more noise as you're English star boy. But Jude's out in Germany. Not a lot of people watch German football that much. Well, I certainly don't. My mates don't. But I think it's done wonders for him, and hopefully, I'd like to see him stay out abroad for the time being until he's 26. Maybe I think maybe that's a bit too late, but I just want him to mature. I know he's mature at the minute, but I just want him to mature into a fantastic player. I mean, like, imagine him at Real Madrid. Imagine how good he will be then, and then come back to the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. Darius, what are your thoughts on Starboy? Starboy.
Yeah, he's quality. I mean, he's already showing, leadership traits at such a young age. He's fantastic for Dortmund. I think he will get a move to the Premier League. Dortmund are just very good at, growing young talents, picking players that they know are gonna, earn them a lot of cash when they, use them to the potential that they can. I feel like Dortmund will cash in on him because, like Lee said, his price tag's just going to keep going up. I can't see there's not going to be, a lot of interest from top clubs out there. I think Liverpool are obviously the favourites. So I'd expect Lee wants him at City. I would certainly want him at Chelsea.
I'd want him at Reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everyone would just want him at this point at the teams that they support. But he's quality. He's probably been England's best player at the tournament, in my opinion. And he's just showing levels to the game, really. And I don't care how much you have to pay for it. It'd probably be like 130, 40 million plus, I'd say. But I think you got to spend money like that because he's quality.
Yeah, he's big time baller already. I'm looking forward to that France game with him in the middle. Should we talk a little bit about France, or should we stay on England? Talk a little bit about the defence scenario. I mean, what you feeling, lads? What you feeling?
I feel like our defence has been quite solid since the Iran game. Was pretty much they only scored 2 goals because I think we lost our concentration in the last 10 minutes. Then against the USA, we were really defensively solid. We didn't offer much in attack, but USA didn't really have any chances. Pulisic hit the bar from kind of a half chance, didn't he? And then against Wales, Gareth Bale didn't get a touch, did he? And then he went off at half time.
Yeah.
So we've obviously been solid in defence, but it was just, you saw in that Senegal game, there was just like, especially the first half an hour when we weren't great, we gave Senegal a few chances. Pickford have to make a good save. It's one of those where if we do that on Saturday, and that's Mbappe with that chance, or that's Griezmann with that chance, that's Giroud with that chance, I think we're 1-0 down, and it makes it a whole lot tougher. But yeah, he's got to be 100% concentrated and focused, and we can't allow lapses in concentration to give away simple chances for France, because they'll definitely take them.
I think there's one point for me that I remember actually watching the game live against Senegal, and it was in the second half. Harry Maguire, bless his heart, he's been rock solid for us, but he like sort of took a touch and he was dribbling, and then all of a sudden he took another touch, and it was the fattest touch I've ever seen in my life, and the bloody Senegal striker just took it past him and I just went, what is he doing? Honestly, that's all I remember from that game. But yeah,
well, if he makes that mistake against Mbappe, then Mbappe's gone past him with ease, and there you go, in on goal. So
no, Maguire's quicker than Mbappe. I don't know what you're on about.
maybe in his head he's quicker, but
It'll be like, have that, you, innit? That's what it'll be like. Have that. Brexit football. All right then. Let's go into France. Obviously, we've spoken about Big Kylian. Oli Giroud, France's all-time top goal scorer now. We mentioned him in the last episode. Fantastic player. Do you reckon our defense, our centre backs, will be comfortable with him, or do you think it'll be a challenge? Do you reckon?
Well, he's scored goals in the Premier League, hasn't he? So he knows how to play against Premier League defenders. I feel like if he plays at the five at the back, we should, because Giroud's not really a kind of striker that's going to drop off into the pockets, play a bit like false nine, a bit like Harry Kane does. He's not really that kind of striker. He'll be more up against the defenders, he'll be the one to take the defenders away to create the chances for Griezmann, Dembele, Mbappe. So I don't want to say he'll have a bad game, but I feel like we've got enough to deal with Giroud. It's just he'll create this. If we deal with Giroud, there's so many other players that we also need to deal with as well. So you can't focus too much on one player.
Darius, any follow up, mate?
Yeah, I completely agree with what Lee's saying. To be honest with you, I think Giroud will be the target man that will sort of play balls in behind to them quicker wingers, Dembele, Mbappe, of course. I think he could be, a problem from set pieces. Certainly, but I think England's height at the back should be able to, stop him from doing anything, aerial threat. It's just a case of, like Lee said, if we're marking him and we're focusing on him, it's about the other players that are going to, obviously, cause problems around him. And Mbappe this tournament has been a goal scorer, but he's also shown how creative he is, the flicks and the tricks, and that could cause England a lot of problems. But France are good all over the whole team, like the whole squad. They've got good players, so I think there'll be a threat. It'll be a difficult game. It's for me, it's really close to call. Sort of on the fence of them. I don't know. So,
Speaking of some of the other France players, Dembele, what do we make of him so far this tournament? Do you reckon he's had a good tournament?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you can say he hasn't had a good tournament. The thing I like about when I'm watching Dembele is his dribbling is so smooth to watch. It is absolutely. It's like no other player. He can go left or he can go right, which I think will cause a problem. I think it'll cause a problem for England, because I think that Mbappe might not just stick on the left wing in this game, because when he's played against Kyle Walker in the past and not had much luck, he switched to the right wing. But Dembele is equally as competent on either wing, so it's going to be. He's had a fantastic tournament. I expect to give whichever fullback is against a tough time.
Yeah, I mean, that was going to be one of my next points, Lee. If France are smart, and let's say we don't play with either formation we play, if France are smart, they'll put Mbappe on Shaw and Maguire's side. Because I think that's where he's going to find his best opportunities. And like you said there, Dembele can do it on both sides as well. He's more than competent to do that. Another player I want to shout out. Well, not shout out. I want to give a mention to Rabiot. It was linked with Manchester United in the summer, and then Ten Hag was right. No, that's not going to happen. He's had a decent tournament so far, I would say. Considering I think he wasn't in the squad in 2018 or refused to be on the reserves for the squad. Yeah, he's been playing well. He's doing a good job for France, I reckon. Darius, any?
Yeah, I think a lot of people sort of don't really think he's that good of a player, you know. But he has had a good tournament. He's been good in their midfield. I mean, France are missing a lot of players in midfield, aren't they?
Yeah.
Pogba, Kante. I mean, he probably wouldn't start realistically if they were playing, if they were fit. But, you know, he's been given the opportunity, and so far he seems to be working well in that midfield. I think it's him, Tchouaméni, and is it Camavinga as well that's also in the midfield?
Griezmann's been playing on 10.
Yeah, because I think Camavinga may have been playing at one point at left back.
Yeah, left back against the game they lost.
Tunisia.
Yeah. So I don't really understand that. I think their midfield should, probably be them three. Well, I don't know. Maybe you sort of take Griezmann out of the England game. But I know he's been playing really well. But if England are going to line up maybe with a three in midfield, if that's Henderson, Bellingham, and Rice, France might do a similar thing where it's Tchouaméni, Camavinga, and Rabiot. Not necessarily attacking midfielders, but box to box defensive midfielders to have that cover maybe. So they could possibly do that.
I think the perception for me is because you always hear that Rabiot's got behavioural problems, always a disruption to his team, and I think that disguises the fact how good he is as a footballer. And I think this tournament has shown how good he is. And I mean, I've been shocked by how actually good he is. I haven't seen him play at club level a lot for obvious reasons. Don't really watch a lot of Ligue 1 or Serie A football where he's only played. But yeah, it's been interesting to watch. Could have been a Manchester United player, but he isn't. So should we give score predictions for Saturday's game?
It's a tough one, but I think we'll give France chances, but France will also give us chances from what I've seen of them. Poland had some good chances that could have been converted. They could have been 1-0 up, just like Senegal could have been 1-0 up against us. So I think it will be a game of goals. It'll be a very tense affair. I say 1-1 England win on penalties.
Oh, that is nasty. That is nasty, Lee. Jeez, man, I can't be dealing with that. Bloody hell. Darius?
Mine was a little bit similar to Lee's, to be honest with you, in terms of the thing, but I'm going to say 2-2 after 90 minutes, and then England to win 3-2 in extra time.
Oh.
So England nick an extra time goal. I'm sorry, Will. I'm sorry. I know you'd love it that we get a win in 90 minutes. And
3-0.
And we're doing what we did against Wales and Senegal. I just don't think it will be like that. I think France will have the opportunities to score. They'll put it in the back of the net, and I think that we'll also get some chances and score. It's really just going to be which defence maybe crumbles and the others, does a bit better, and I think England's might just do that if we play a back five, but it'll be close, really close game.
I agree with the scoreline, Darius, and that's all I'm going to say. I don't know who to. I want it to be England, but
Okay.
I'm scared to say, man. I'm scared to say. Oh, bloody hell.
Hey, Will, if you think it's France, just think,
No,
you
I
can
don't. I
if you
don't. I
want.
think it's going to be us. It's going to be us, man. 3-2 to England, 90 minutes. Harry Maguire to score from a corner. There you are. Bet on that.
Slab head in the
Yeah.
120th minute.
Oh, have that, yeah. Should we talk about the other quarterfinals that are going on?
Yeah.
I think Friday's quarterfinal is the Netherlands versus Lionel Messi's Argentina. Where to start? I mean, Argentina had a shaky start, didn't they? Just scraped through the group stages, and now they're in the quarterfinals. Netherlands have looked fantastic. It's going to be an interesting competition. What are your guys' thoughts on the?
I think
tie?
that is going to be one of the best games of the quarterfinals. Personally, Argentina against the Netherlands. The Netherlands played really well. I watched them against the USA. It was a fantastic. The first goal he scored was some fantastic total football, as Johan Cruyff would say, with them knocking it about. And I think they've looked really good so far, and I think they could. I think Argentina probably going to the game as slight favourites, but I think I could easily see an upset from the Netherlands, especially you saw what Australia, could do to Argentina. Especially you look at it, the second goal that Argentina scored. All right, it's good pressing, but at the end of the day, it was a horrendous goalkeeping mistake, which has got them the second goal, and then it's Emi Martinez has saved them in the last second with a wonder save. So I can definitely see Netherlands getting through that one, and maybe upsetting the fairy tale that Lionel Messi would win the World Cup in his last World Cup.
Cry. Darius, before you say your answer, I'm gonna throw a stat out to you.
Okay.
Louis van Gaal has never lost a World Cup game, a knockout game, unless if it's been on penalties.
Right.
He's only gone out on a penalty shootout.
Yeah, and with that, Will, I think that this game could easily go to penalties. That's the thing. It's one of the games. I mean, the Netherlands did play really well against the USA. I mean, their group was, you would say, one of the easier groups. They had Qatar, Ecuador. I don't think were that great. Senegal were all right, but we all knew, I think, the Netherlands were going to top the group. I think against the USA to start off with, they didn't look that good. The Netherlands. I think the USA did have quite a bit of control. It did look like they were going to score the first goal, the USA, but Netherlands scored and then sort of controlled the rest of the game and went on and won. So I think they could present a tough match for Argentina. I don't think Argentina have been amazing either. I think we all expected that with them being 36 matches unbeaten, that they were going to just come in and just storm the tournament, and they lost their first game shockingly. But there's always going to be opportunities for shocks and surprise at tournaments like this. We've already seen them. I would still think Argentina are favourites over the Netherlands, but anything can happen. I could definitely see that game being a 1-1 penalties, and really it's whoever's got that, keeps their nerve, goes through. It'll be a really tight game. Another one.
Interesting comments come out today from Di Maria. I mean, why would you say that before a quarter final, man? Van Gaal's your worst manager you've ever had. Do you want to give him extra motivation just to be take him out? Yeah, I mean, from a romantic point of view, from a footballing point of view, I'd love to see Argentina and Messi go through.
Yeah.
However, I do feel the Netherlands have got a very strong midfield compared to Argentina's Argentina have got DePaul, who's called a cock muncher or whatever his manager calls him to protect Messi. And you look at the Netherlands midfield, they've got De Jong. Trying to think of other players now. Klaassen. They're quality players on the ball, and I think that would be the key battle is that midfield. And I feel like as the Netherlands have got a better midfield, I think they may just edge the game and go through. But I'd like to see Argentina and Messi go through, obviously. But yeah, never mind. So obviously we've done the England quarterfinal. We've done that. England are going through. Sunday. Who's Sunday's quarterfinal?
No, it's only Friday, Saturday.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
Brazil and Croatia's first.
At 3 o'clock,
Bloody
3-7,
hell.
and then 3-7 on the Saturday.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Fuck me. Sorry, excuse my language, guys. Yeah, all right then. I've done that backwards. So Brazil, Croatia is the first quarterfinal then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we've done this backwards, but it's all right. It's got to be Brazil, innit? Surely.
Yeah.
I
They
mean,
R9, as you called him in the
mate,
episode, has
mystic
been
fucking
playing
man.
like an R9. And yeah, they've been too strong for any opponent they've come against, except Cameroon. They did lose to Cameroon, but that was 9 changes I think he made for that game.
Edison in goal.
Yeah, probably why they lost. Nah, he made a good save. God bless him. But yeah, Brazil are looking strong. And the game against Croatia is a team that you think they should quite easily get past, especially with Croatia have got quite an aging team, and Brazil are quite young and youthful, and they've got very fast-paced attack, which can blow teams away in a half, as they showed against South Korea.
I mean, look at Vinny Jr., man. What a player. What a player he is. And R9. Darius, what are your thoughts on Neymar's return to the team against South Korea?
Very, very important player. It was sad to see that he got injured. I think people thought that he might have been out for the rest of the tournament, but I mean, people have their sort of opinions on Neymar that he falls over too much. He dives. That he's one of these sometimes inconsistent players, but you can't take anything away from Brazil. I think he's fantastic for his nation. He plays really well. And yeah, Brazil just dominated against South Korea. I expected them to go through. It's quite funny to see all the players dancing, and I know. I think Roy Keane said he didn't really like that. But even getting the manager involved, I thought was quite hilarious. But yeah, Brazil just bring that flair, but they've got the quality players, like they're really talented. A lot of top players like Vinicius Junior, Neymar, Richarlison's playing great, and yeah, I think Croatia being an aging team, like Lee said, I think they'll beat them in 90 minutes. But again, if that goes into extra time and potentially penalties, I don't know. Croatia just for some reason are very good at penalties at tournaments. So they could nick it. And Brazil sometimes when they play against more tough opposition don't really show how good they are. I know at the last World Cup that they lost to Belgium. And I know that, at that point it was really Belgium's last chance with their golden generation. Because, they have not been good at this tournament. But Brazil, that's the thing for Brazil, as they go later into the tournament, can they beat the big teams and obviously make it through to the final and win it? Because they've definitely got the quality to do so. I think they are favourites in many people's eyes, but it's just whether they can beat the big opposition in the key moments. So it'll be. I don't think it will be an easy game for Brazil. I think they should win it though.
Yeah, I mean, Croatia are always late bloomers in tournaments. Yeah, I mean, I do think Brazil will win. it'll be interesting to see if Argentina win, because what a semi-final that would be.
South America.
South America's greatest. And the last quarter final to talk about is Portugal versus Morocco. Who saw that coming, eh? Who saw that coming? Yeah, and by the way, Enrique's gone. He stepped down as Spain manager. Would love to see him in the Premier League. Not gonna lie, I think he's a fantastic coach and manager. But yeah, Spain got knocked out on penalties for the first straight tournament in a row. But all credit to Morocco. You know, they went in there, had a game plan, stuck to it, won on the shootout. You know, goalkeeper Bono. What a bloody best Bono performance in a while, weren't it? I saw that tweet going around. But we can't. If we're saying what a performance, we've got to look at Portugal.
Yeah.
A young lad up top, hat trick in his first World Cup game. I think, was it first World Cup or first start?
First World Cup again. Well, first start, I think.
Yeah, I mean, bloody hell! What a way to introduce yourself, innit? Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on the tie?
I think it'd be a very interesting game. I think Morocco set up very similar to the way they did against Spain. Against Spain, a very kind of low block, very counter-attacking football. See if they can catch anything on the break. I think they had the better of the chances against Spain, or that's what I've seen. So if they can do that against Portugal, who knows what could happen? And they've shown they're very competent from the spot if it does go to penalties. So I'd like, for the story, I'd like to see Morocco win, because it'd be the first African semi-finalists, and I feel like they deserve it. They won the group. They beat Belgium. They beat Croatia and Canada to the top of the group. So it's not like they've had an easy group, and then they've come up against Spain and then they beat them. So if they beat Portugal, they'd fully deserve to be semi-finalists in the World Cup.
Darius, any thoughts, mate?
Yeah, Morocco have been fantastic. I think that their manager has only been in charge for 6 games or so, and I think they've only conceded 1 goal, which was against Canada. But I think that was an own goal anyway. So yeah, they've been fantastic defensively and going forward. They're a counter-attacking team. They could put a lot of pressure on Portugal, to be fair. I did think that Morocco would beat Spain in the last game. No, I did think they would, because I know 4 years ago at Russia, in the Russian World Cup, that Spain got knocked out on penalties by Russia. And I don't know, I feel like Spain are one of these teams that are still, very young. I know they've got some experienced, players like Busquets and Alba, but they're still a very young side. So, give them another 4 years and I think they'll be very good at the next World Cup. But I think it was just sort of Morocco's time in the moment.
Should have put a bet on it.
Well, I could have done. But no, I think players like ZX playing really well at the World Cup, which obviously is good if you're a Chelsea fan like myself, because I think he needs to be playing a bit more. Because he can if he shows the quality like that, what he's doing at the World Cup, I don't see why he wouldn't be getting starts for Chelsea, because he's been very good. I think the whole team has been, but Portugal have also been, very good. They don't really need Ronaldo, do they? Let's be honest. I mean, that Ramos guy, he scored a hat-trick in his first game, and he's probably going to take over for the rest of the tournament. I think Ronaldo will obviously make his appearances, come off the bench, but why would you start him when you've got this lad that clearly is very good? I think he'll get a lot of interest from big clubs. I think he plays for Benfica.
Yeah.
So yeah, he'll get a lot of interest. But it could be, I don't really know with that game. It could be one of these where Portugal just blow them away and beat them by a big scoreline like they did against Switzerland. I didn't expect they'd beat them 6-1, Switzerland, but they could. But Morocco might be more of a challenge. And if they do what they did against Spain, they could, Morocco could be in a semi-final of a World Cup, which they're on England's side. So if England get past France, I think I don't know. What would you say? Would you rather have Morocco or Portugal?
Fucking Morocco. Are you mad?
Yeah, but then if you play Morocco, they've already beaten Spain and Portugal, so why couldn't they beat England?
Yeah, that's what you have to look at.
Are you mad? Nah, we'll do them, mate. We'll do them. Just going back to the last episode, obviously Spain had just come back off the 7-0 win, and someone, I can't remember if I believe it was Darius, was bigging up Spain. And I said the famous Jose quote, they can take the ball home, we'll take the 3 points. And look what's happened, mate. Look what has happened.
Yeah.
No, fair play to Morocco. Yeah. Portugal's game against Switzerland, unbelievable. Unbloody believable. It'll be an interesting game. I do fancy Portugal. Really do. I think Portugal are gonna make it to the semi-finals, I must admit. You look at their attack, like you said, even without Ronaldo, you've got Rafael Leao, Bernardo Silva. I mean, you've got Cancelo at fullback. I mean, their team is stacked of good quality players. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'd like to see Morocco go through for obvious reasons, but no, I do think it will be Portugal's time, and you can see it now, can't you? It's 0-0 at bloody 85th minute. Ronaldo gets subbed on and he scores a header. You can just see it happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, should we call it there, lads? I mean, are we happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Goalpost podcast. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Catch you later.